Hey y'all, so today's video is going to be all about container gardening in North Texas.
Welcome to Fire's Garden.
Let's be real, y'all. Gardening in North Texas is like an extreme sport. It can be 40 degrees one day and then 95 degrees the next day. The July sun is literally like a heat lamp, a lava lamp, okay? So, but if you don't have a massive backyard, if you don't want to be bending over to garden, I would suggest container gardening. So that's what we're going to be going over today. The pros and cons and the how-tos of container gardening. So join me. First, let's talk about types of containers for North Texas, because the material is everything in our climate. Avoid terracotta. It looks pretty, but it is too porous. In our wind and heat, it will be bone dry by afternoon, and the plants will not be happy. They probably will not even survive. So avoid terracotta. Plastic or resin, one of my favorites. These are great for keeping in the moisture in our Texas sun. And my favorite, grow bags. I love these because they air prune the roots, making them stronger. Plus, the fabric breathes, so the soil stays cooler than it would in the black plastic pots when we hit triple digits. Don't you dare buy garden soil for your containers. All right? Let me say it again. Do not put garden soil in your containers. I would go with a fluffy potting mix. I would suggest one of my favorites is Pro Mix. It is about $20 for 2 cubic feet of potting mix, and it's good. It's really loamy and soft and fluffy, and that's exactly what we need so it doesn't turn into a brick in North Texas. I also like to add a little extra perlite or some compost, just to boost up the soil a little bit to make it better draining, to make it a little bit more loose and fluffy. Because again, our Texas sun will turn everything into a block of soil, hard clay soil. So avoid garden soil in your containers and go with a good quality potting mix. All right, guys, here we go. The conversation that is had all around the world. No, just playing, mainly gardeners who garden in Texas, and this is all across the state. Our sun. Now, when you get garden packets, or even when you buy a plant at a big box store, and the label says full sun, that does not mean Texas full sun. So you have to take into consideration our sun and how hard the sun works. It gets very hot, and not only hot, but humid. So what we want to do is we want to try to give our vegetables or flowers some afternoon shade, if possible. Now, for my garden, I don't have that available to me because I have no trees. I do have a umbrella, and a few of my plants have their own individual umbrellas too, those little small umbrellas. Um, this year I invested in some shade cloths, some white shade cloths too, to put over my plants, because when it hits about 3 p.m., that sun is harsh. Sorry, I'm looking at the sun now. It's hot out there already. Like, it was raining, we were cool. Now we're in the middle 80s already, so it's going to be a hot one this summer. So back to what I was talking about. Afternoon shade is very important for our gardens, especially container gardens. But the benefit of gardening in containers is that you're able to move these containers around. So if you feel like one container, maybe a tomato plant, is getting way too much sun, then you can easily just pick that up, move it to a shady area, move it under an umbrella, cover it with a white bed sheet, So there are options when it comes to containers. That's why I chose to go that route. So watering in July, you will be out there watering 2 to 3 times a day, especially if you start to see your plants droop, which is normal in North Texas. I'm so used to my tomatoes and peppers drooping, and even some of my flowers, even my zinnias, sometimes they kind of droop during the day because they get too hot in North Texas. But what I would say to try to combat that is to mulch each of your grow bags. So I use a straw mulch, and that really helps out. Now, it does sprout up some little weeds, which I just go through and I just pull them out. Or you can use wood chips too. That's a good option. But straw is my favorite. Fertilizing. Now, for me, when I plant my plants, when I put my plants into the grow bags, I put a little fertilizer in the planting hole before I put the plants in. But then I also, every 2 weeks, I will do a water soluble fertilizer. So I use fish emulsion, or I will use Espoma's Grow or Espoma's Bloom as well. So those work really well, but you actually have to be on a schedule for those things. So every 2 weeks is my advice, every 2 weeks. I also use a solar drip irrigation. I went on Amazon and I found this product. I will insert a video of kind of how it works. Um, and it is solar powered, which is perfect for our climate, which is perfect for North Texas because all we get is sun in the summertime. So what you could do is you could set it up on a timer. So you can have it run every 12 hours for 15, 20, 30 minutes at a time. So what I did was I got 2 of the kits. I went out and I got 5-gallon containers from Walmart, and white containers too, not black ones. And what I do is I fill that 5-gallon container up with water. I stick the things in there that come with the solar irrigation kit, and I set it on the timer. And it runs right now. I just have it running every 24 hours for about 15 minutes because we're not too hot yet, but seems like we are definitely getting there. Today I went outside. I said, oh no, I'm not feeling outside today. Anyway, so what I would do is I would definitely go out, maybe get a solar irrigation, maybe find you a wand that you can water at the base of your plant. I wouldn't water the leaves, especially on your tomatoes, because it can cause disease and fungus issues. So yeah, watering is very crucial in our climate. So I would suggest doing it at night when it's cooler, a little bit cooler, because you really don't cool down at night too much, but when it's a little bit cooler at night, or early in the morning before the sun even gets into the middle of the sky, is to water deep. Yeah, so that's my suggestion for watering your containers. Container gardening in North Texas is not about perfection. It's about pivoting with the weather, learning to adjust. Whether you're using grow bags for tomatoes and peppers or resin pots for zinnias and amaranth, just keep experimenting. I would love for everybody in Texas to have a garden. If you found this helpful in any way, please hit that subscribe button or drop a comment down below, letting me know what are you struggling with to grow in North Texas. Thank you for joining me today in Viola's Garden.